Treasury is aiming to alleviate SA's drinking problem by raising excise tax on alcohol. SA drinks 4.5 billion litres of alcoholic beverages a year. Research has, or rather indicated, that alcohol contributed to violence, disease, mental health issues and death. On the same matter, liquor traders in Limpopo have rejected a clause under the Limpopo Liquor Act of 2009 that says outlets must close at 10 o'clock during the festive season. The police and government want to implement the clause to minimize crime and road fatalities. Lucky Ntimane, the national convener of the National Liquor Traders Council, joins us to discuss this further. Good evening, Mr. Ntimane. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So, as stated there, according to Treasury's report, the nation's annual liquor consumption is estimated at 4.5 billion litres. That sounds incredibly high, and Treasury is now looking, of course, to increase the excise tax in an effort to lower the consumption levels. Your reaction as the council?
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we'd like to greet the viewers of SABC News. Firstly, before we respond, we'd like to acknowledge the important day it is in our country today as we mark the end of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence and recommit ourselves as liquor traders that we're going to play our part with civil society and our communities in ensuring that we bring to an end the scourge of gender-based violence in South Africa. Coming back to your question, Fundu, we were quite taken aback by the proposal by the National Treasury to actually increase the tax on alcohol products as the reason given that, this is going to fight alcohol abuse in the country. We do not believe that that is the preserve or the space in which National Treasury must play in. I think their focus is in bringing money into the fiscus and supporting the government's GDP ambitions and growth of our economy. We feel that, in order to address the issue of alcohol abuse in South Africa, we require all hands on deck. We require the social development. We require social partners in our space. We also require social development to come into our space so that we find a lasting solution to dealing with alcohol abuse. I think we have done so well in hiding the issue and the scourge of alcohol abuse in our country. We've managed to sweep it under the carpet for so long, and it's catching up with us. So it is rather unfair that National Treasury will rather react emotionally to an issue that requires cool level-headedness so that we're able to address this once and for all.
Granted, social development has to come to the party, but would you say that it's exclusively social department that must address the scourge? Because on the other side, some in society say they believe alcohol, particularly high consumption of alcohol, contributes to a lot of social ills, impacting crime response, where resources are quite limited, also impacting the health sector, where resources are also limited. So shouldn't this attempt be welcome? Because it would not only add to the fiscus, but also assist in alleviating the pressures in communities brought about by the alcohol abuse.
I think it's a shotgun approach by the National Treasury, and it is akin to milking a dying cow, because if you are going to focus on increasing the price of alcohol for those that are buying legally, because what we have known and what we have seen, and this is on record during the COVID-19, is that when you limit access to alcohol, and in this case through the proposal by the Treasury, you increase the price. You are making it more accessible in the illicit and counterfeit alcohol space. And we have seen that illicit and counterfeit alcohol in South Africa has grown in leaps and bounds and is now account to more than 25 billion rand, which is almost 15% of the legal economy of alcohol.
Pardon me for interjecting there. Just for clarity, because in that instance, that example that you give when it was during COVID, if the prices were increased, if you're saying that now it will allow for the illicit trade to boom, but if they're increasing and you've also got Treasury also legitimately increasing, it means alcohol will just be expensive across the board. Or are you saying that in the illicit market it will be slightly lower?
So I think maybe let me rather highlight the illicit and counterfeit of alcohol. So these are illegal products that have been killing our people. These are products that are not fit for human consumption. So we are talking about an illegal industry that should not exist in the first instance. And these are the industries that are taking food out of the mouth of those that are treating alcohol in a legal way. So illegal alcohol, illicit and counterfeit, should not be existing in South Africa. All we're saying is that the National Treasury is actually promoting the illicit sale of alcohol in South Africa, including the counterfeit thereof. So it should not be that alcohol should be made more expensive at the expense of those that are trading legally, so that we can make room for those that are using the illicit and counterfeit alcohol to run their illegal businesses in South Africa.
Now, some argue that a significant increase in excise tax would not really stop those who want to continue enjoying their alcoholic beverages. They would rather perhaps reduce their spending in other areas. I suppose that could also be a problem on its own, where perhaps a person now reduces in buying food for the family. But meaning, though, increasing the excise tax might not necessarily impact a number of these alcohol businesses.
I think it's very important that we're able to have a scientific approach to this and not the emotional one, which the National Treasury has so adept at showing that it is conducting its way in making sure that the dying cow, which is the liquor industry, keeps on feeding into the trough of the government. We are saying, yes, we do agree that alcohol issue in the country needs to be looked at. We do agree that we have an abuse of alcohol issue in South Africa, but we need to deal with that, and we should not, at the expense of those that are trading liquor in a responsible manner, and for those consumers that are drinking in a responsible way, then they should be punished because the National Treasury wants to increase the fiscus of government. We are saying, let us find a long-lasting solution that will ensure that we're able to deal with the issue of alcohol abuse once and for all as a country. But to say that we're increasing tax and allowing the illicit and counterfeit alcohol to flourish in the country, that is certainly not going to be our solution.
Then just lastly, to the return of the alcohol curfew, police are proposing in Limpopo specifically that the curfew be brought back. Your views on that?
We support the stance taken by the associations in Limpopo of challenging the government there, because this is also one issue where we have approached the government of Limpopo, in the past 2 years when they wanted to cap the trading hours up to 2 a.m., where we felt that also this was not guided by science, by emotions. And we continue to see provinces, almost moving to that space where decisions are being made without consultation with the relevant stakeholders on the ground. In this instance, the alcohol industry and most certainly the liquor traders. So we feel that, it's nonsensical that we just introduce the law through the back door without any consultation whatsoever to implement a policy that is not tested and does not have any basis in science or even common sense. And you feel that this is going to curtail the consumption of alcohol in that country to reduce the road incidents. There's no science behind this. It's just sheer madness.
What of those who would say police are an important stakeholder and are the ones that respond to some of the issues that are related to alcohol? So if they are saying that perhaps we need to